some of the words we talked about deserve to be highlighted. You use the word agency. We talk about collaboration and empowerment. I think that's it. That's the core meaning of any technology, including a so-called godlike technology like AI, it should be human-centered. And what does it mean? Human-centered is just a phrase. To me, the simplest but the most profound meaning of human-centeredness is really empowerment to humanity, to including individuals, communities, and society. And that is the meaning of this technology, which brings up this point that David said, is that it's a time of change. Time of change could be a time of loss of old habits, loss of comfort that we were familiar with for the past decades, loss of sense of steadiness. But that's also a time of opportunity. It's an opportunity for what's coming next. It's an opportunity for what we can make better. And how do you cross that boundary between the time of confusion and loss to time of opportunity? As an individual, it is really a responsibility of each one of us to learn, embrace, upskill, be intellectually open about this opportunity. And that goes to the core of every human journey, whether you are a K-12 student or you're already a professional. We have to embrace this together.
Yeah, but also to your point of change, it's happening so fast, faster than ever. Can you tell me, like, if we take AI today, what type of tasks it can do already, what is still very human, and what's going to happen in a year? So how fast is it moving?
I mean, I think in education, it's having a tremendous impact. The biggest obstacle, I'll share. So we know from the last 60 years that the best way for somebody to learn is one-on-one instruction. Mm-hmm. So the question has to be asked, why do we sit in classrooms of 20 people, of 300 people? It's simply cost. It is too expensive to provide a Dr. Lee to every person in the world, even though that would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
And so with AI, though, from the work that's been done in the last couple years, we now know that AI can provide that personal level of instruction that is almost as good as that. It is so much better than learning in a classroom than reading just a book on it. So then the question, and now you're able to provide that same education, the one where you sat in an elementary school classroom for $12,000 a year. You're now, or a school for $80,000 a year. Once you're undergrad, you're able to provide that same education for about $100. Mm-hmm. So the question has to be asked, when are we going to see that change in our own education? I think the biggest obstacle is not the tech. The biggest obstacle is the institutions that are afraid of that change. But I think what's going to happen, we know that if you use AI to learn, you're able to learn the same things in 60% less time. Mm-hmm. So if school says, I'm going to ban AI, I'm going to ban my kids from using AI, and another school allows them to use AI in a structured way, those kids that use AI are going to be far ahead of the kids that don't. Now, that's not a replacement for everything. You still want the in-person interaction, all those social bonds, but I think you're going to start to see a divergence in kids where one group that is open to AI is learning at a much faster rate than everyone else. And I think that's bad. And so I think it's not a tech issue, but I think what's going to happen is those schools that do not adapt in 10 years, they aren't going to exist because they're going to be so far behind.
And also their world will be changing so fast because of AI. Like what David said, part of it, they should be changing. I also adamantly believe every school, every classroom should embrace AI. Every student should be embracing AI. But I also believe that we have a collective responsibility to include them, especially the teachers and educational administrators in this discourse of AI and show them what is a viable path that maintains the goal of education. The goal of education is not a tool. The goal of education is not closed book or open book exams. The goal of education is not standardized test scores. The goal of education is building humans. And so that every individual is a meaningful contributor of their community and society and lead to a meaningful life. And this AI should not be taking any of these fundamentals away, but AI should help to achieve this goal much better, much more effectively. And this polarized, extremely simplified binary conversation about AI is for cheating or not, closed book, take away AI, it is just not where we should be. We should be looking at how we empower teachers, how we empower students, how we restructure our classrooms, how we rethink about examinations, how we rethink about standardized tests, how we rethink about college admissions, how we rethink about resource distribution. There is a technology that's lowering costs and barriers. So how we can resource our inner cities, our rural areas, globally, global South. These are really important, more important topics of AI and education that we're missing that conversation.
You know what I think will help this conversation, because when I'm thinking about my kids' education, I want to imagine a workplace where they're going to be. So when I was growing up, the workplace is big company, you're doing this. Yeah. And so in order to get there, you need to study this, this, and that. Can you paint me a picture of a workplace or a company in 10 years? What does it look like? What should people be preparing for?
Agency. I think AI will give people more agency. So a lot of the future of work, I think, will rely on people who know how to use these tools in very effective way.